We're going to do a Marvel season recap. And the reason why we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing this with Arnold right here. What's up, my guy? I feel like this is the first season that we've both taken seriously and actually played and put the time into the game, right? And so I feel like we have two different perspectives on the season from where we are in the game. And we're going to talk about our favorite decks that we climbed with, where we finished, and how it went for us. Sound like a plan?
That sounds good to me, man. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, yeah, so so I think the recap, we should probably say where our ranks were and like how we were starting in the season. You were 103, I think, right, for the season or something like that, or 100?
Yeah, well, the thing is, once you get to infinite and you're over 100, you can't drop below 100.
Yeah.
And so like I started testing decks. I started farmer boosting. Yeah, I was doing all kinds of stuff. Like I just didn't care about my rank anymore. But when I was pushing to 100 and I started at like 20, like it went all the way up. Like it took, because I hadn't, and it's mostly bots up to about 40, but I ended up over 100 and my collection power is at 4,700. And I do spend money on the game. Like I do have Silver Surfer. I've gone out and I have Bast. I have She-Hulk. And I think She-Hulk was the most important in the decks that I used in climbing. But most of the decks that I used to climb did not have the series 4 and 5 cards. Like I didn't get a lot of use out of Thanos. I got a little bit out of Bast. And then recently I've picked up Darkhawk and Shuri and Absorbing Man, and I have not used them that much. I'm getting ready for the new card that's coming out tonight with Zabu or whatever like that.
Zabu, yeah, everyone's been talking about that.
Yeah. So and that's the reason why I went heavy. But as far as climbing, the only deck I used was the only card that I used that was in like 4 and 5 was She-Hulk, and I actually pulled She-Hulk randomly. Like she just popped up for me. I didn't even spend collector tokens for her.
I have her pinned right now.
Yeah. So she's pretty good. And so I got a collection power of 4,700. So that means I have all the series 3. Let's look at your screen and tell me where you're at.
Yeah. So currently where I'm at here. So for context, I didn't really start.
Go up top. Move up top.
Oh, move top, baby. Always on top.
Yeah.
My collection score is 1856. I didn't start playing till like the little bit at the beginning of this season. So I was a bit of a late bloomer in terms of pushing for the season. 1800 collection power, just like you. I did spend some money on Marvel Snap, mainly to get the Apocalypse, the pack and whatnot, to get those collector tokens. And I felt like once I started getting certain key cards, from pool 3 and 4, I felt like I was starting to make some pretty good momentum. The deck that finally got me to make some massive progress is when I got Death, and of course as well Leader. Those cards made a huge impact on the cards that I had in like a span of a few hours.
Leader
from 70 to like 84.
Leader is cheater. So show me
it's cheating.
Leader is cheater. So show me the deck that got you the most points the quickest. All right, so
easily this one here, and I'm mad because like once I finally got Death, I was like, oh, I could start playing this deck. And then the New Year's holidays came around. I haven't played in the past 3 days. I'm a little mad, but here's a deck that I felt like did the best for me, and that was my Galactus deck. And really, the 2 additions were Leader. I pulled that randomly out of a collector's reserve, and Death as well. I got those randomly, and then Death was the thing that really took it to the next level because I got Galactus from the collector's shop. Mainly because I thought the animation was cool, but I felt like I couldn't really get the most out of it because it was really hard when you're blitzing down a zone to secure the zone and get the win. And with Death, when you're destroying all the cards on the field, she becomes almost like usually a 1-0 cost card. And then I can usually put maybe Hulk to back her up or Hobgoblin. And the win rates went up drastically. I think the best part about Galactus is no one expects him. And then he just comes out of nowhere, and then because you're eyeballing the zone that you want to get, and then you set yourself with Hobgoblin, and that's been the biggest one. Like I swear, in about an hour or two, I went from 70 and I hit 80, like almost instantly. Like the 8 cubes are coming in so quickly because I snapped right before Galactus came out, and it's usually a little too late for them. And usually, I feel like I average about 4 because once Galactus came, they would retreat. At that point, so some people push their luck.
The Galactus, I come across Galactus a lot at some point, and I have two cards that I don't see in your list that I almost always see in Galactus, and maybe you don't have them. Shang-Chi, and the other one that I almost always see is Hobgoblin. Yeah, or not Hobgoblin, Green Goblin rather, just the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin.
You don't have Green Goblin. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird that Hobgoblin's easier to come across than Green Goblin, I feel like. But yeah, I wish I had Green Goblin. I do have Shang-Chi, and I feel like I should be putting it in right now because Gamma Lab is it's a very frequent zone right now. So
Well, that was, yeah,
Shang-Chi
it's
would be
over now,
incredibly
but
helpful.
yeah.
Yeah, it's over now. But yeah, that would have been nice to have. But yeah, Shang-Chi, I feel like honestly the weakest part of this deck, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like Okoye could be replaced with
Yeah,
something
that's, I
else.
was going to ask you about
Yeah.
Okoye. Okoye doesn't look like she fits in there. I feel like there's these like strong cards like you've got some right there already, like strong cards like Nova, but like I feel like Iceman gets played like everywhere, Scorpion gets played everywhere, and maybe, you know, just to throw off the point, you know, opponent gives some disruption and they're real cheap cards, and it's like, yeah, it's like you don't ever lose with Iceman. It's just always good there. So what
It's
other
always good there, yeah.
what other deck did you use? Because I think that like from what I'm hearing, especially people that are just like using like pool 1 and 2 cards, it's all about Devil Dino, right?
Yeah, so I do have a Devil Dino deck. I need to label my decks a little bit better. I believe, is it the Megamind deck? Yeah, here's the deck that
that
I
looks
use. So,
good. That looks really good right there.
yeah, so this was a lot of fun. I think this was really helpful going from 50 to 70. And then once I got Death, that's when I transitioned into Galactus. So this was incredibly helpful. And again, Leader was kind of the one that made a huge impact.
Leader's cheater.
It's Leader's cheater. Like with Leader, if you're winning a zone, you're tied in a zone. Usually you're gonna win. If you're winning 2 zones, you're basically guaranteed to win. It's I mean, it's not a guaranteed win all the time, but yeah, I was so mad because Christmas Eve. I'm like, why do I keep getting stomped by Leader? Where's my Leader? And literally when I was opening Collector's Reserve, like an hour later, I got him. So
I feel like the general consensus on Leader is everybody wants him nerfed into oblivion, and there's a bunch of solutions. Like you know, they could always play with the power, right? They can in my experience in Marvel Snap, when they nerf a card, that the card is still playable. And so there's like a lot of cards that are still very good that have been nerfed to a certain degree. I mean, Mr. Negative has been nerfed, Devil Dino's been nerfed, Angela's been nerfed, Bishop's been nerfed, and all these cards are still players, so they don't ruin the cards. They just balance them out. And I've seen a lot of ideas. Like some people say they should adjust the power down. You know, 4 power is kind of high. Maybe it should be lower. One guy wanted to make it as low as -1. You make it a -1 card, which I think is very interesting. Or the other solution that other people were talking about is maybe make it so that you only copy cards not in the lane that you played in.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but they have to do something about Leader because you have to play. You either have to play him or you have to play around him. And there's so many decks that could be viable if Leader wasn't a thing. But because Leader is a thing, you know, and then the other busted card that you're playing right there is Aero. I don't know. Arrow's busted as all get out. Basically, if you're heading 2 locations, you just play Aero into the location that you're losing, and then you win. It's like, so Leader makes the entire game about be winning on turn 5, and then Aero and Leader just seal the deal. So that's amazing. We got to talk about that deck. I'm gonna go back to full screen, and then I will toggle over, and I'll show you the deck that kind of broke the whole game. Go full screen. There you go. The deck that broke, I feel like broke the entire. It was the Dara deck. There's a streamer by the name of Dara that came up with this, and it is just the Leto era Dara. And it's exactly that. I mean, look how similar it is to your deck. I mean, Leech Leader, Leech turn 5.
Oh man, yeah, Leech
ruins Silver Surfer decks or anything that was going to happen on turn 5. And then same thing, if you know, either use Aero or Leader to finish the deal. And the rest of these cards are here is just so that you're ahead on turn 5. You know, see, these are just like good cards. Scorpion, good card. Armor, good card. Lizard,
Yeah, I see those
Lizard, good card. Cosmo, amazing card.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh my God. Thor, good card, right? You know, by the time, and then Maximus, I think
I haven't got Maximus yet. So he's been eluding me.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me about Maximus. It's like, well, you give your opponents 2 cards. I don't know if it matters. You're gonna leech them. You're gonna leader them, so it doesn't really matter. So like it's about the 7 points and having initiative, and then same thing. White Queen. Oh my God, Emma Frost is so good in this game because she kind of like lets you know what your opponent's going to be playing. Yeah, and it's like okay, they're going to be playing Destroyer, And then Leech is cheater. Magneto is useful. I mean, he's definitely not the strongest on there, but this deck list right here, I feel like defined this entire season. And for me, if they nerfed Aero, if they nerfed Leader, I would be completely fine with that. Like, I feel like those two cards are just nearly broken. It's exactly what I said. Just get ahead on turn 5 and then win the game with Aero or Leader, and it's just kind of absurd, actually. I mean, have you probably come across this deck a lot, right? I'm sure you have.
Yeah. Oh, easily, yeah. I think one of the worst is I get cocky and I use Wave to try to reduce my cards to 4 cost, and then they throw a Leech. I'm like, oh crap, you just screwed over my turn 5 or turn 6 play. So yeah, I feel like honestly, I feel like I haven't played with Leech for a couple days now, but Leech was really a big deal for me moving forward. I know Aero's broken, but I feel like Leader's next level broken.
Oh no, Leader is just not fun to play against.
No, it's the worst.
It's
feeling.
the worst.
It's yeah. I luckily when I played, there was a period of time, I think between 40 and 50. Again, when I'm building my early collection, I got Destroyer, and that was the one thing that kind of helped me manage Leader a bit. Was they just caught my Destroyer, and I would win. That was the only time I felt like Leader wasn't that annoying for me.
Yeah, I don't like Leader. I don't like playing him. I felt like I had to play him, right? But I just don't like playing against him. Losing against him feels bad. And I understand that he's meant to, like, without Leader, the game is, all right, dump all your cards on turn 6 and win the game, right? Silver Surfer, Patriot, whatever, right? And just win the game. And Leader is like kind of like the anti of that. Actually, Silver Surfer, but Leech, but or just drop the big baddies, and Leader just kind of counters that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Card the balance. I mean, I think honestly, if they made it a -1 or even made it 0 power, that probably would just balance it itself, or only copy in a certain lane. It's easy to bounce around. It's just
right.
Yeah, it's surprising that they haven't done much about it.
Well, they've said on Twitter there's basically 2 cards that are on their watch list: Galactus and Leader.
Galactus and Leader, yeah.
So
we'll see. Sometimes new cards come out that nullify current powerful cards, so we'll have to wait and see about that.
So I think this was the definement of this last season. I don't think it was fun to play. But I definitely played a lot. Now, the cards, deck that I actually pushed, there was 2 decks that I pushed the most that I liked, was the Surfer. I feel I
saw a video on this,
Yeah, I feel like Surfer defined this, and I've played about 4 different Surfer decks. But this one, I had the best results because it was a little bit more control-ish by using Storm and a lot of these cards, I don't even know if they, Nova.
Nova looks a bit out of place here.
Yeah, but I actually, Nova won me a bunch, you know what I mean? So, like, Nova was kind of weird. And I'll show an updated list of this where it's like a good card version by KM Best, which is very similar to this. But basically, this is all about Brood, right? And
I don't have Brood either. It's like, I want to try, and I was like, oh crap, I don't have Brood still.
Yeah, so the whole thing about Silver Surfer is it's a struggle to find a good Silver Surfer deck list without Brood. And I don't know if there's even a way of getting around that. Like I think people have tried, but it really Brood seems to be the defining card, because basically it's 3 cost cards, and and then if which is 6 power on its own, but if you do Forge into it, then you've got basically it's 4 3 cost 3 4 cost cards, and then you're going to give them an additional 9 power when you pop off Silver Surfer. So I climbed a lot with this, and the one deck that was a little bit better, maybe perhaps, and I didn't catch on to this later, but this was from KM Best, where it basically he replaced a lot of some of the wonky cards with more what they call good cards right now. Like Iceman is just a good card, Scorpion's kind of a good card, Armor's a good card, Lizard's a good card, Maximus is a good card. They're just cards that are good utility. I mean, like Cosmo, I think Cosmo and Killmonger are the top 2 played cards in the game right now.
Yeah,
and they're just good cards. Solid. And then Polaris is another 3 cost card. So
do you have Absorbing Man or Mystique or anything like that?
Okay. So the deck that I feel like this is like so far the only deck that I think that Absorbing Man kind of breaks it a little bit. Let's see. I forget which one it is. Not this one. There's one with Absorbing Man that is just busted. Let's see here. Shuri. Maybe I deleted. I delete these decks every once in a while.
My deck management's atrocious. I still have to delete some of my like early game decks when I was like a beginner player.
Let's see. Okay, this is the deck right here. So this deck right here is busted, Absorbing Man. But basically, you play Brood on turn 3, Absorbing Man on turn 4, and then basically they're, instead of them being 2 power broods, they're 3 power broods. So 2 3 power broods come out along the side, and then he is not a 3-cost card, but the broods are 3-cost cards, so they get the benefit from Silver Surfer and then also Patriot. So I think this card is going to be used a lot more when we get it too, in the next season, with for sure. But I kind of caught on to that late. Now so the deck that I pushed with the most was the Leech Leader deck. Then this control deck right there, the Sarah Surfer control right there, very fun. But the other deck that I pushed I probably the most was this one right here. And this is Deathwave. Basically, the idea of this deck right here is use the top row here. Is basically just the standard destruction package with Deathlock, Hood, Bucky, Carnage, Killmonger, and Squirrel Girl is to literally just blow them up with Killmonger. Yeah. It's food to get the count high enough so that you can have a low cost or a free death. And the idea is that same thing. Yondu, this is kind of worded weird. It says remove the top card of your opponent's deck. It really should say destroy the top card of your opponent's deck, because it counts as a destroyed card. Yep. And frankly, I don't think Yondu is that great of a card, but like as soon as I see my opponent play Yondu, it means they're playing death. It's just like a no-brainer card with death, absolutely. And the idea of this deck is to play Wave on turn 5 and only Wave. And so that you'll have 2 unspent energy. And then that means that She-Hulk will be cost 2, Death will be 0, and then you're going to have your choice of Aero or Leader that play for 4. So you're going to play 3 cards on turn 6. And it's going to be Aero with She-Hulk and Death, or it's going to be Leader and She-Hulk and Death. And it's kind of I think this is a known deck, and I think I went from mid 80s to like maybe 100 over this. I think I did my last 15 levels with this deck right here, and it's about being patient and only doing a Wave on turn 5 and snapping when you see your combo in play, and hopefully you don't get screwed up. So it was a pretty good deck list, and those were the 3 decks that I played the most, through this thing. And it's been interesting. I'm looking forward to the next season. I think the next season is going to be a lot different with with Zabu. Zabu's going to be Zabu's going to change the game. I mean, just like Silver Surfer changed the game, where it's all about building around Silver Surfer and 3-cost cards. Zabu's going to be about because he's going to reduce the cost of all 4-cost cards by 2, minimum of 1 ongoing. And so you're just going to build around 4-cost cards. And so I think there's going to be all kinds of crazy combos with Wong and Shuri.
Wong, man. I've been wanting an on-reveal deck, man. Wong. It's not fun when someone shows me their Wong.
So I've played Wong. Please understand, Wong sounds really, really, really cool, right?
Yeah, but unstoppable. Yeah.
Every single person is playing Cosmo right now. Everybody plays Cosmo, and so it doesn't matter. Like and the problem with Wong is it's telegraphed. Now I'm hoping that Wong will be more playable with Zabu, because maybe on turn 4 you can play 2 cards. Maybe you can play Wong into Rock Slide, let's say, or so you get some actual before he gets blown up by Cosmo, right? Always Cosmo, man.
Oh gosh. Yeah. But
all right.
I'm hoping going into this new season will be. I'm looking forward to it. This is the first season I'm going into where I feel like I'm on a good start at the very beginning, where I'm not starting from scratch like this season.
Yeah. So I've got some ideas for Zabu. I gotta put Psylocke in here. I think Psylocke's gonna be.
Yeah, I need Psylocke too.
I think
did you get Darkhawk from Collector's Reserve, or did you get it from Crate?
Oh, that's a 5. You know, 5s don't come out of those collector reserves ever.
They don't. Oh
no, it's like one in some ridiculous. It's like a
Thanos
0.2
is in there, right?
No. But okay, so you will get the Series 4 like after a while. You'll get some,
right.
But I think it's a 0.25% chance. Like, so it's like 1 in 400 to get a collector. I've never pulled a 5. I pulled Series 4, but it's pretty rare to pull a Series 5. I mean, it's
maybe the RNG guys would smile upon me.
Yeah, I feel like it's just too rare. Yeah, so I mean, this is the deck that I'm gonna rock probably right out of the gate with Zabu, and I don't know who I'm gonna pull out. I'm not sure about Wave or White Queen, but I'm gonna pull out one of these cards, and then I'm gonna try to run, as soon as that goes live here later on today. All right, anything you want to say before the giveaway?
I think the only thing I want to point out, maybe you feel differently. I wish there was I feel like once you get past like rank 50 for the season, I feel like there's not as much incentive except for maybe bragging rights. When do you get the gold? Is gold at Omega
90.
or is it gold at
90?
90?
Yeah.
Okay.
At 90 you get like 500 gold, and then at 100 is just bragging rights. At that point, you get a title.
Yeah, I wish Infinite was more. There was more along with Infinite. I mean, they can always change the season rewards, but I think that's the only thing. Like, I feel like Infinite should be a little bit more satisfying.
Yeah, well, it's right here. Yeah, gold at 90.
Oh man, when does the season reset? Maybe I have time to get.
The season resets in like a couple hours. Like we're literally like 6 hours away. But yeah, if you're at like 85, maybe push for the gold for sure. Because that's 500 gold. I mean, those packages that have collector tokens, that cost gold are the way to go. And so I like those a lot. All right, so now it's time for the giveaway. I really hope you like this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free a 4-cost 12 power Arnold. This is not a scam. I gotta say, yeah, big shout out to Cadwin who made these. I'm afraid to show mine. Mine's kind of scary. Are you ready?
I can see the
Oh no, it's horrible.
It looks like a White Queen variant. I don't know.
Emma Frost. Oh my God, no way.
Frost
No. I don't even Silver Surfer. I was supposed to be Silver Surfer that day, but I don't know. I think that was I don't know. All right, let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.
Bye.